Good morning, Year 3. I hope that wherever you are having a really great start to your morning and that you are ready for another week of online learning. Okay, so this week in spelling, we are looking at the graph U, which makes the sound W, as in the word quilt. The first word we are going to be looking at today is the word guava. Can you please say the word guava? All right. Guava is an edible pale orange tropical fruit with pink juicy flesh and a strong sweet aroma. I've put a picture of the guava fruit in the top right hand corner so that you can see what it looks like. You may have tried this before and you may even eat it at home. And if you haven't, well, that is what it looks like up there. So you have a bit of an illustration to paint in your mind about it. Okay, the sentence that I have put the word guava into is, I sat on the beach and ate my guava. Okay, what sounds and letters can we hear in the word guava? Let's look at the sounds that we can hear first. We can hear the sounds g, w, a, va. Now you can see that at the bottom I have put the sounds that we can hear in the smaller letters, and you can see that the graph U is actually making the W sound. It doesn't make the U sound or the sound, it is making the W sound. So we pronounce the word guava. Now the letters that make up this word are the letters G, U, A, V, A. You can see that we don't have any digraphs or trigraphs or quadgraphs in this word. Each letter is its own graph and it makes its own individual sound. G, W, A, V, A. G, U, A, V, A. Guava. What part of this word do you need to remember? Now remember, I always highlight the focus, the graph or the digraph or the trigraph that we are focusing on for the week. However, this is very particular and specific to you. So if there is another letter in here that you need to remember to include when you're spelling the word guava, that's what I want you to practice when you're practicing your words this week. However, I have underlined the graph U because I think it's important that when we are spelling the word guava, that when we hear that W sound, we remember to spell it with the U. So G-U, A-V-A. Okay, have a turn at spelling the word guava without looking at it. Remember, if there is no one around who can double check your spelling, you will have a chance to check it at the end of the PowerPoint. All right, the next word we are looking at is quickly, and this word comes from our orange word list. So say the word quickly. Quickly means at a fast speed or rapidly. Rapidly is a synonym of quickly, and we all know that a synonym means a similar word, okay? It has a similar meaning. Now for the word quickly, I've put an illustration in the top right-hand corner of a dog that looks like he is running really quickly. And the sentence for today is, the dog ran quickly towards the water bowl. Now, I don't know about you, but after my dogs have been out on a really long walk, they love to run as quickly as they can towards the water bowl. Okay, let's look at the sounds and letters that we can hear in the word quickly. Remember, the sounds are represented at the bottom of the word in the littler letters. So the sounds that we can hear are k, w, I, k, l, I. Quickly. Now the letters that make up the word quickly are Q, U, I, C, K, L, Y. You can see in this word that the graph U is making the W sound. You might have also picked up that the letter Q is making a K sound. So we're not saying Qu or anything like that, or Q, it's the K sound. So it's a K, W, I, L-E, quickly. You can see in this word quickly that we do have the digraph CK, which is making that singular K sound. And the graph Y is making the E sound. So the letters are Q-U-I-C-K-L-Y. Q-U-I-C-K-L-Y. What part of this word do you think you need to remember? You may need to remember that the letter Q is the letter that's making the K sound at the beginning of the word. You may need to remember our graph focus. So the graph U is making the W sound in this word. You may also need to remember that the digraph CK is making the K sound, as well as the graph Y, which is making the E sound. Now, I do know that sometimes when you go to spell these words at the end of the week in your spelling test, lots of you seem to get stuck and you get a bit frazzled when you're trying to sound out the word. And I have noticed that a lot of you tend to forget the focus that we were focusing on in the week. So just make sure that when you're hearing that W sound in any of the words that you are spelling this week, it's being made with the letter U, okay? Okay, have a turn at spelling the word quickly without looking at it. Quickly. Quickly. All right, the final word we are going to be looking at today is from the green word column, and it is the word earthquake. Can you please say the word earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden, violent shaking of the ground, typically causing great destruction as a result of movements within the Earth's crust or volcanic action. And you can see in the little diagram that I've put in the top right-hand corner, it is a rough visual representation of what an earthquake might look like. So it's where the ground starts to shake and rub up against each other, and then it will split. And earthquakes are they're well known to have them in America and in other parts of Europe. We don't tend to have them in Australia, which is lucky for us. Okay, the sentence that I've put earthquake in today is, the city was almost totally destroyed by an earthquake. Now you can see, you may have already been picking up on it, and you may have already been yelling at your screen saying, Miss Smith, you have spelled totally incorrect. Yes, just as I am now going through, even though I do try and double check all my work before I post it, I can see that I have spelt the word totally incorrect. And it just is a good example that even teachers can make mistakes, and it's perfectly fine to make a mistake as long as you can identify it, own up to it, and then fix it in the future. So I will definitely remember to add the T the next time I spell the word totally. So the city was almost totally destroyed by an earthquake. Okay, let's look at the sounds and letters that we can hear. The sounds that we can hear in the word earthquake are k, w, a, k. All right, we can see that there's lots of different digraphs and trigraphs and single graphs in this word this week, which is why it becomes a green word. It's a little bit trickier to remember because it's got lots of different letter combinations that make different sounds. So we can even see, if we look at the beginning of the word, the sound is actually being made with the trigraph EAR. The th sound is being made with our digraph TH, and together we can see that if the EAR and TH were joined together, they would create the word earth. And then we have at the end of the word, we have the letter Q is making the sound K again, and we just had that in an earlier word in quickly. The letter U is making the W sound. The letter A is making its own sound, so the A sound, and the digraph KE is making the K sound. So earthquake. In this word, there's probably a lot of things that we need to remember, and we'll get onto that in the next screen. But if we just look at our letters, we have EAR, TH, QUAKE. EAR, TH, QUAKE. Now, if you find it easier to break this word earthquake up into 2 words and remember it like that, that's another really good strategy. So we can see in the word earthquake where you have the word earth at the beginning and you have the word quake at the end. And obviously the 2 words are put together because it represents, quake means to shake, and it's the earth is shaking. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Okay, what part do you need to remember in the word earthquake? Perhaps it is the EAR trigraph at the beginning of the word, which is making the sound. I know occasionally sometimes people forget that there's the letter A in that sound. So it's actually EAR, not just ER. So EAR, you might need to remember that. You might need to remember that the letter Q is making the K sound. So when you're sounding it out and you come to the earth K, wake, that you remember that it's actually a letter Q, not a K. You might need to remember the spelling focus for this week, which is the graph U is making the W sound. And you may also need to remember that the digraph KE is making the K sound. So it's not just a singular K tacked onto the end. It's actually the digraph KE. Okay. Have a turn at spelling the word earthquake without looking at it. I really want you to try and remember the way the word looks in your mind and really focus on listening to the sounds you can hear and memorizing the letter combinations that make up those sounds. All right, that brings us to the end of our week 4 little mini spelling lesson for this week. So remember, you're focusing on using the graph U, which is making the sound W, okay? And an example of a word that has that is the word quilt. Let's look at our words for this week. Okay, in our red column, we have quilt, guava, quiet, queen, and quest. In our orange column, we have quiet, quieter, quick, quickly, and quit. In our green column, we have language, penguin, Queensland, squeal, and earthquake. And in our personal words, we have aisle, ambiguous, annihilate, appreciate, and artificial. Now, once again, you only need to choose one of the activities to the right-hand side. Hopefully you've had, maybe this is your week where you need to go and try another activity, or perhaps you're in a bit of a routine and you're making your way down the column, so you might want to be wanting to do newspaper words today. Whatever it is that you are doing, I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you have enjoyed our mini spelling lesson for week 4. Just to point out before I go, in the green word column, the word Queensland, it has to have a capital Q. The reason being is Queensland is a proper noun. It is the name of a state, and therefore anything that is the name of something, it has to have a capital letter. So please make sure this week when you are practicing your words that you are ensuring that Queensland is spelt with a capital Q. Enjoy online learning this week, Year 3. I look forward to hopefully seeing you all in the near future. Happy spelling and happy learning. Bye.